On today's news, we'll be covering the Cedar Springs High School Winter Musical coming up very soon, along with struggles that come with winter driving. We'll also be covering fall sports and covering the accomplishments that came with this season's fall sports. Good morning and welcome. I'm Jeremy Campione, and this is CSTV Live. For our first piece of the day, CSTV's Olivia Claver and Gabe Park sat down with some members of this coming Shrek musical and talked about what we can expect.
We sat down with Martine Yates and Riley Tate from Cedar Springs High School's production of Little Shop of Horrors, along with Mrs. Cassavant, the director of this year's production of Shrek the Musical, to talk about what to expect from auditions as well as what to expect from the show.
My advice for people auditioning for the first time is just put yourself out there. The musical is so worth it, and you meet a whole bunch of different people that you may not meet anywhere else. The musical is just really special in a way where you get to see people do things that you wouldn't on a regular basis. You get to make connections, friendships, and high school, I think, is just the place where you put yourself out there and you learn new things and you grow, because when you're not in high school anymore, you're in the real world, and it's kind of difficult to make those connections that you did in high school.
My advice for people auditioning for the first time is don't be afraid to mess up. You're going to mess up. I mess up. Everyone messes up. And you can't prevent yourself from being nervous, but just don't worry so much. What's going to happen is meant to happen. And you have to trust the directors. They know what they're doing. They know what spot you should be in. Just go into it with an open mindset and have fun.
I picked the show because it is fun. It has a huge cast. It's something that when I seen initially, it brought joy to my heart. And so I wanted to bring that to the students here to be able to perform it and to be able to see it.
One thing I'm the most excited for in this show is just having fun with it. Shrek is pretty great, and I remember watching that show when I was a kid, and never thought it'd be a musical, but I just enjoy the people that are auditioning for this, and I definitely can see that there's some talent going into this, and I'm just excited to have a laugh and have a good time and grow in the process.
The thing I'm most excited about for this show is meeting new people and making new friends, and I'm excited to see what people can do. I'm excited to see my friends put themselves out there and have fun and see all the talent and see things that I didn't know people could do.
So the cast size is going to be very large. So we're thinking 60 to 70. And that includes a few middle school students, so maybe 60 high schoolers and 10 middle schoolers.
My initial thoughts when auditioning for the musical last year, I had no clue what I was doing, and I was so scared because I realized that I was doing something I never did before, and it was the best feeling ever because you go into something having a mindset somewhere else, and you learn new things. And I just kind of did it, not knowing what to expect. And when I got the part, I was deathly afraid because I thought that I would screw everything up. But it was amazing, and I didn't screw everything up, and I learned, and people helped me through some of my struggles, and I made a new family that I didn't have before.
My initial audition, I walked in and just was confident because I had practiced so much, and I trusted myself and the directors. I was more nervous for my callback because then I felt like the stakes were a lot higher. Luckily, it all worked out in the end.
What people should be excited about, I think the spectacle of it all, to come and see this big set and these elaborate costumes and the crazy makeup, the absolute fun that the show is going to come through in all those aspects.
Auditions will be held on November 19th and 20th from 3 to 6 p.m. in the choir room. Go to www.cshmusicalproductions.weebly.com for more information.
I really hope you all consider coming out and auditioning. It'll be a ton of fun, lots of work, but lots of fun, and we're going to have dancing this year, like true, actual, have to learn to dance dancing. So if you're a dancer out there, we need you.
There will be 6 shows premiering for this musical starting January 30th, and tickets will be $10. For our next piece, our own Omani Morales and Grace Pavelka sit down with some students and staff and talk about the struggles they face driving during this cold, slippery season.
It's only November, and yet snowy season is upon us. We decided to sit down with some students and adults, and we asked them questions about their driving experiences in the snow.
Not really like an accident, but I did not get winter tires yet, and then I hit a patch of ice and my car spun out and I went into a ditch and I was really stuck, and then my dad had to get me out, and it was really scary because he started yanking me like the car, and I was in the car.
First year driving in the snow was actually the first time that I had. I was going 30 miles an hour and I was going to a stop sign and my car just slid through and I went into a 5-foot ditch.
Yesterday, I was trying to get into my driveway, and apparently I didn't slow down, or there was too much ice or something, and when I tried to take the turn, my tires were all the way to the right, and my car kept going straight, and I tapped a tree a little bit, so.
When I was in 6th grade, my bus had just left the middle school, and there was a car pulling out of the neighborhood, and they turned and they slid on the ice and they hit the front of our bus and spun around and then hit the back of our bus.
The accident I was in was on the way up to a snowboarding trip when my friends and I were like 20, I think. We were heading up to Boyne, and one of my friends was the driver, and he tried to pass a car that kept changing their speed, and he passed and got in some slush, and we like spun out, and then the car rolled into the ditch, and luckily it like rolled onto its roof and then rolled back down onto its tires. So, but yeah, no injuries, thankfully, and we just got a different vehicle and kept going up to our trip.
I think every year I'm kind of a little bit nervous of driving in the snow just because I have gone into a ditch before and it was not fun.
I'm always nervous to drive in the snow just because I'm nervous to drive in general, but I think that I'll be fine since my car's kind of a tank.
A little bit. I mean, driving all the time, when you're driving, there's always risks, but with the snow there's more risks, so yes, I am a little bit more scared. No, since it's my first year, my parents do not let me drive in the snow. They think it's too dangerous, and I have narcolepsy.
I can't even drive. I'm 15. I don't even have a car.
It's not that scary if you do a couple of things. If you watch your speed, right, so slow down, make sure you're not going too fast, and then don't tailgate. So if you keep space between you and the driver in front, and if you slow down, then you should be in pretty good shape. And you know, with time you'll gain confidence, but those are the big things. So yeah, and don't be in a rush, right? Like give yourself lots of time to get to where you need to be so then you don't feel pressured to drive fast.
I would say first and foremost, always take it slow. Just don't be in a hurry. It's better to be late and get there safely than to get in an accident because you're in a hurry. And be careful of other drivers. It's not necessarily always you. It could be other drivers that you gotta watch out for.
Advice for new drivers, especially in the wintertime, is just take it easy. Like plan ahead, leave early, don't rush. And then just take it easy when you accelerate and decelerate because things change real fast on snow and ice.
Get snow tires.
Make sure you're careful driving in this cold, slippery season, especially out in the parking lot where there are cars everywhere. We're now going to send it over to Nathaniel T29 Hackbart for our weather updates. Nathaniel?
Good morning, Cedar Springs High School. It's your boy, Nathaniel T29 Hackbart, coming at you with the weather. Now, looking at the satellite radar, as you can see, clear skies. And by clear, I mean clouds. There's no rain, there's no snow, but it's November in Michigan. You're not going to get any sunny skies. Now, moving on to the forecast. As you can see here, today, throughout the weekend, it's going to be nice and dry. Again, no snow, no rain. Temperatures averaging high mid to low 30s. However, moving into the weekend, next week, it's going to be slightly colder, or not colder, it's going to be warmer with 39 average temperature for Monday and Tuesday with a 40% chance of a mix of snow. Going to peter off on Wednesday, but however, moving into next weekend on Thursday and Friday, going to be a much higher chance of rain with some much higher winds. Back to you, Jeremy.
Winter is now among us and fall is over, so our fall sports are recapping. For our final piece, Aiden Knappen and previously mentioned Nathaniel sit down with some they recap the fall sports.
Good morning, Cedar Springs High School. I'm Nathaniel Hackmart.
And I'm Aiden Knappen.
And welcome to Cedar Springs Sports Center Live, except we're not live because this is pre-recorded. Anyway, a lot of fall sports happened this fall, as they generally do, because there are a lot of different athletics going on at Cedar Springs High School. So to recap, we're going to go over each and every one of them. Starting off the list, we have cross country. Both boys and girls varsity teams did actually manage to make it to the state finals this year, performing very admirably.
Next up on the list is girls varsity volleyball. They went 26-23-4 this season and made it to the playoffs. Unfortunately, they lost to Forest Hills Northern 3-0.
Very unfortunate loss there. Moving on again to boys tennis. The boys tennis team made it to state finals this year, and honestly, thinking about it, I feel as if, personally, boys tennis is a very, very underrated sport. A lot of guys, especially girls tennis, boys tennis, anything, people just don't seem to care about tennis, and I know that a lot of athletes in tennis put a lot of time and effort into that sport, and they get pretty good at it.
And it's just unfortunate how underappreciated they are. Next on the list is girls golf. They made it to regionals this season, and don't forget, in the spring is when boys golf starts.
So if you are a guy and you're looking at getting into that golf craze, keep your eye out for that, because once tryouts come, they're only going to come once. Now, moving on to the big dog. Varsity football went 9-2 this season and did manage to make it to the playoffs, where they had a round 1 playoff victory against Mount Pleasant, where they won 34-7. Unfortunately, in the second round of the playoffs against Muskegon, as many of us already know, they were defeated 48-10 in a very hard-fought victory.
It's very unfortunate that they lost. I thought they had a great season this year, and hopefully next year they can do even better. But next up on the list is boys soccer. This season they went 11-5-1 and made it to district finals. Unfortunately, they lost round 1 to Forest Hills Eastern.
A lot of good athletes out there this year, as there are every year.
That's true. There are very good athletes every year. I think it's going to be unfortunate that a lot of them are seniors and will be graduating them.
That's all we have for you this morning. I'm Nathaniel Hackmart.
And I'm Aiden Knappen.
And this has been Cedar Springs Sports Center Not Live.
Congratulations to all members of successful fall sports. We're now going to send it over to the sports desk with Emily Masevich and Riley Kinzinger for introductions to our winter sports. Ladies?
Thank you, Jeremy. Now that fall sports have ended, it's time to transition into winter activities. Last year, competitive cheer had a great season, and this year they're looking to do even better. Their first meet is December 13th and the CCAM Invitational. So, Riley, you're on the competitive cheer team. How do you think the season's starting off?
I think the season's going really good. We just had tryouts, and I think there's a lot of potential for the year.
What are some big goals you have as a team?
We want to make it to state finals again.
Well, hopefully competitive cheer goes off again this season, but other teams are also working hard to improve. The girls basketball team has already had tryouts and started their season. The boys team has tryouts next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Boys and girls bowling also had a really good season last year. Bowling had a record-breaking season, with the boys being regional champs and making it to state finals. And our very own Omani Morales was state champion. They have their first tournament on December 7th. Good luck to you guys. Also, wrestling had a very good season. The team qualified for state finals and a few placed at states. They hope to go off again this year. Good luck to all winter sports athletes. And now back to you, Jeremy.
NHS inductions are also coming up very soon, Thursday, November 21st, along with Thanksgiving and our long-deserved break. Thank you for joining us today on CSTV Live. I'm Jeremy Campione, and just remember, it's always a great day to be a Red Hawk.